The Galactic Council chamber was alive with its usual buzz of interstellar diplomacy. Representatives from dozens of star systems, ranging from insectoid species with translucent wings to massive reptilian warlords, gathered in the Grand Circular Hall aboard the floating citadel orbiting the neutral planet Othlar. Today's agenda was routine: trade disputes, border negotiations, and status updates from member worlds. Yet, beneath the surface, tensions had been simmering, none more so than those involving the humans. Humans had always been a wild-card species. Relatively new to the galactic stage, they rapidly advanced technologically and militarily, yet their diplomatic style was brash and unpredictable. Many alien races found human tactics aggressive, even reckless. Still, the Galactic Council had welcomed humanity into its fold, hoping to guide them toward peaceful coexistence. That hopeful notion was shattered in an instant. As the meeting commenced, the chamber's massive holoscreen flickered to life and the human envoy appeared. Lieutenant Commander Solara Vin, a woman known for her steely gaze and unwavering composure, addressed the assembly with a voice calm yet resolute. Honored members of the Galactic Council, the United Earth government has made a historic decision. Effective immediately, Earth is severing all diplomatic ties with the Galactic Council and every member species represented here. A stunned silence blanketed the chamber. Whispers erupted across the room. Some members gasped, others leaned forward, eyes wide with disbelief. How could humanity, only decades into its interstellar membership, make such a radical move? Solara continued. This decision was not made lightly. For years, humans have endured covert manipulations, broken promises, and betrayals at the hands of numerous species within this council. We have attempted dialogue, sought alliances, and extended trust, only to be met with duplicity and subversion. On Earth, the government's announcement had been broadcast galaxy-wide through secure channels, shocking both allies and rivals alike. In the United Earth Parliament, officials emphasized that humans could no longer tolerate being pawns in alien political games. They cited multiple incidents, from espionage to sabotage, which had undermined human sovereignty and endangered their people. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, various delegates struggled to digest the implications. Ambassador Chrysostal of the Jorak Empire slammed his clawed hand against the armrest. This is an affront. Humans have benefited from the Council's protection and cooperation. To cut ties now is to invite isolation and chaos. Others whispered anxiously about the potential fallout. Disrupted trade routes, fractured alliances, and the economic ripple effect throughout the galaxy. A representative from the tranquil aquatic race of Velyari spoke cautiously. Might this be a form of protest or a strategic ploy? We must seek dialogue before condemning Earth. Yet no human diplomats remained to negotiate. Earth's decision was final. As the meeting adjourned in confusion and rising tension, whispers of fear and uncertainty filled the corridors. What did Earth truly intend? Was this a defensive move or a prelude to something far more dangerous? Meanwhile, on Earth, citizens reacted with mixed emotions. Some cheered the bold stand against alien interference, proud of their government's defiant assertion of independence. Others worried about the consequences of cutting ties with the vast galactic community, fearing economic collapse or military retaliation. Behind the scenes, top human officials convened secret councils, preparing for the unknown consequences of their announcement. Earth was readying itself, not merely to survive isolation, but to challenge the status quo and reclaim its place on its own terms. The galaxy had just witnessed a seismic shift. The humans had pulled the plug on diplomacy, and the shockwaves were only beginning. The announcement from Earth sent shockwaves far beyond the Galactic Council's chambers. Across countless star systems, from the icy asteroid colonies of the Zelari to the desert fortresses of the Draxun, alien governments and populations scrambled to process what had just happened. The humans, a species that had only recently joined the galactic community, had abruptly and unilaterally severed all diplomatic connections with every known alien civilization. In many sectors, news of the diplomatic severance caused immediate confusion. The humans had never given any clear indication that they intended to withdraw. While Earth's official communiques claimed alien betrayal and manipulation as the justification, many species suspected there were deeper, more complex motivations. At play, alien leaders convened emergency meetings within their own systems. For some, like the powerful and prideful Zorak Empire, the news was seen as a personal insult. "How dare these humans reject centuries of diplomacy?" barked the Zorak High Commander during a council meeting. Others feared the economic consequences. Human colonies and trading posts dotted the galaxy, serving as hubs for commerce and exchange of goods, technology, and culture. Cutting those connections threatened to collapse trade routes and disrupt supply chains, critical to many worlds. Meanwhile, human diplomatic outposts began shutting down. Embassies that had once buzzed with alien diplomats and cultural exchange turned quiet and empty. Evacuations of human personnel were swift and efficient. Ships arrived at key stations to retrieve diplomats, scientists, and support staff, leaving many alien allies and adversaries alike wondering what Earth was planning. Within the Galactic Council itself, tension skyrocketed. Some council members demanded a swift and united response to the humans' actions. The idea of imposing sanctions on Earth or even preparing for a military blockade gained traction. Others counseled caution, warning against underestimating humanity's resolve and capabilities. Many feared that pushing too hard might provoke the very war the Council wanted to avoid. A secret faction within the Council met quietly to discuss strategy. They suspected that Earth's move was more than just a diplomatic withdrawal. It was a calculated step in a broader plan that might include military and technological escalation. Intelligence reports suggested that humans were enhancing their defenses and forging alliances with fringe species outside the Council's influence, a development that alarmed many. The economic shockwaves began to ripple through galactic markets. Commodities once traded with ease became scarce. Some species rushed to replace human-supplied goods, while others faced shortages that threatened social stability. Black markets flourished as traders sought alternative routes, but uncertainty and fear loomed. On Earth, the population was divided. While many hailed the government's bold decision as a necessary assertion of independence, others worried about isolation. Scientists debated the long-term effects of cutting off alien knowledge exchange, while military strategists emphasized the importance of self-reliance and preparation. In the void left by Earth's diplomatic silence, whispers of conspiracy and intrigue grew louder. Some speculated that the humans had uncovered evidence of widespread alien plots to control or undermine humanity, fueling their drastic actions. Others feared this was a prelude to war, with Earth positioning itself as a renegade power willing to challenge the established order. Amidst the chaos, the true scale of Earth's preparations remained a mystery. While alien observers saw only the surface upheaval, Earth's leaders were quietly mobilizing resources, strengthening defenses, and developing new technologies designed to counter any threats. As the Galactic Council struggled to regain control over the spiraling crisis, the galaxy held its breath. The severing of diplomatic ties was more than a political statement. It was a turning point. Whether it would lead to peace, war, or something entirely unexpected remained to be seen. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy forever. Beneath the surface of the diplomatic chaos, a deeper truth was beginning to emerge, one that few outside Earth fully understood. Behind the official announcement to sever all ties lay years of covert conflict and subterfuge, the hidden agenda that had driven humanity to this unprecedented decision. For decades, humans had quietly endured a shadow war waged by some of the galaxy's most cunning species. While public diplomacy painted a picture of cooperation and alliance, covert operations told a far darker story. Alien factions within the Galactic Council had long sought to manipulate human society, infiltrate their governments, and gain control over Earth's burgeoning technologies and resources. Human intelligence agencies working in secrecy had painstakingly uncovered layers of espionage and sabotage. Alien operatives had embedded themselves in key political, scientific, and military positions, subtly steering policies and sowing distrust among humans. Biological experiments aimed at understanding and exploiting human physiology had been conducted without consent. Even advanced technology transfers had been double-edged swords, containing hidden backdoors and Trojan codes designed to monitor or disable human systems. One particularly damning discovery involved a coalition of several species who had been attempting to weaponize human neural networks via diplomatic channels, turning diplomats into unwitting conduits for mind control and subversion. This revelation shattered any remaining illusions that diplomatic relations were conducted in good faith. Faced with these betrayals, Earth's leaders reached a grim conclusion. Diplomacy within the Galactic Council had become a facade masking, a deadly game of control and exploitation. The decision to cut all ties was not an act of rebellion alone, but a desperate move to protect human sovereignty and identity. In a high-security conference room deep beneath Earth's capital, key human officials convened to plan their next steps. The official statement was just the beginning. Behind closed doors, they authorized the development of advanced defensive technologies and cyber countermeasures to root out remaining infiltrators. They also began to forge secret alliances with fringe alien factions, species marginalized by the Council and eager for change. These alliances were tenuous and shadowy, but they offered Earth access to unconventional technology and intelligence networks previously denied by the Galactic Council. Human scientists worked feverishly to reverse engineer alien tech, developing new weapon systems and surveillance tools to protect their planet and interests. Meanwhile, intelligence operatives infiltrated alien diplomatic corps, gathering evidence and preparing contingency plans. Earth's military was put on high alert, ready to defend against any sudden attacks or sabotage attempts. The revelation of this hidden agenda sent shockwaves through the few council members who caught wind of it. Some were horrified by the depths of deception. Others felt vindicated, believing humans had finally been exposed as a dangerous and untrustworthy species. However, the majority of the Galactic Council remained unaware of these clandestine operations. They only saw the public face, the abrupt withdrawal of humans and the rising threat it posed. The secrecy surrounding Earth's true motives only deepened suspicions and paranoia. Many council members feared that humanity's withdrawal was a prelude to an aggressive push for galactic dominance rather than a defensive measure. Yet within Earth's walls, the mood was resolute. The hidden agenda was clear. Humans would no longer be pawns or victims. They would reclaim their destiny on their own terms, even if it meant standing alone against the galaxy. As Earth's leaders prepared for the uncertain future, the stage was set for a confrontation far more complex than anyone anticipated. The Galactic Council's reaction would shape the fate of billions and determine whether the humans' bold move was a catalyst for peace or the spark that ignited a galactic war. The Galactic Council was thrown into turmoil following Earth's abrupt severing of all diplomatic ties. The Council's chambers, normally a place of measured debate and cautious compromise, became a storm of heated arguments and conflicting agendas. Representatives from the most powerful species clamored to decide the next steps, how to respond to what many viewed as an unprecedented act of defiance. An emergency summit was convened within days. The urgency of the situation was palpable. The unity of the Council itself seemed fragile, as voices rose over one another in calls for action. The Zorak Empire's High Commander vociferously demanded immediate sanctions and a military blockade around Earth's star system. "If we allow this rebellion to go unchecked," he growled, "it will inspire others to reject the Council's authority. We must crush this defiance now." Conversely, the peaceful Velyari delegation urged restraint. "We must seek dialogue before rushing into conflict," their ambassador reasoned. "Humans are unpredictable, yes, but they are also valuable allies. A war now could devastate us all." Caught between these extremes, the Council was divided. Some feared that any aggressive move might provoke Earth into outright hostility, escalating a crisis the Council was unprepared to handle. Others saw no choice but to respond firmly to maintain order and the Council's credibility. Meanwhile, the humans remained silent. No diplomats from Earth appeared at the summit, and official channels were closed. This refusal to engage only inflamed tensions further, casting Earth as a rogue state and fueling suspicions of a hidden agenda. Amid the chaos, a shadowy figure emerged, an alien ambassador known only as Seltar, representing a fringe species that had long been marginalized by the Council. Seltar warned that humanity's drastic move was a sign of deeper, systemic failures within the Council itself. "You speak of punishing the humans," Seltar declared, "but you must ask why they have chosen this path. Perhaps your own corruption and duplicity have driven them away." This provocative statement struck a nerve. Some council members dismissed Seltar as a troublemaker. Others quietly pondered the uncomfortable truth in those words. As debates raged, Earth was quietly preparing. Behind closed doors, the United Earth government accelerated its defense programs, deploying new fleets equipped with cutting-edge technology derived from the secret alliances forged in previous months. Human scientists unveiled weapon systems that combined advanced human engineering with alien tech salvaged from fringe allies. Ships with adaptive shields, stealth capabilities, and weapons that defied conventional countermeasures. Furthermore, Earth's intelligence services reported that they had thwarted an attempted covert infiltration by an alien faction loyal to the Council. The operation, aimed at destabilizing Earth's leadership and rekindling diplomatic channels under false pretenses, had failed spectacularly, leading to a public exposure that further hardened human resolve. These developments sent shockwaves through the Council. Many members realized that Earth was no longer vulnerable or naive. They were a rising power ready to defend their sovereignty with force if necessary. The Council's leadership was forced to confront a sobering reality. The humans' decision to end diplomatic relations was not a fleeting protest, but a calculated strategy backed by significant military and technological preparation. As the emergency summit drew to a close, the Council's final resolution was a fragile compromise. They would impose economic sanctions on Earth and increase patrols near human-controlled space but avoid direct military confrontation for now. Simultaneously, secret emissaries were tasked with attempting back-channel communications, hoping to find some avenue for dialogue without provoking further hostility. However, trust was in short supply. Both sides braced for what seemed an inevitable collision. The Galactic Council's unity fractured, with some members secretly sympathizing with humanity's grievances, while others prepared for the possibility of war. The stage was set for a dangerous game of brinkmanship, with the galaxy watching closely as old alliances unraveled and new ones formed in the shadow of a looming conflict. Following the Galactic Council's tentative response to Earth's dramatic withdrawal, tensions across the galaxy escalated sharply. The fragile peace that once bound diverse species in a tenuous web of diplomacy now threatened to unravel under suspicion, fear, and covert conflict. Both Earth and the Council's member worlds moved quietly but decisively, preparing for the possibility that diplomacy was dead and war was looming. On Earth, the government and military continued to bolster defenses. The secret alliances with fringe alien factions grew stronger, providing humans access to unconventional technologies and intelligence networks. These allies, often dismissed or oppressed by the Galactic Council, saw an opportunity to challenge the established order by supporting humanity's defiant stand. Joint research facilities emerged, combining human ingenuity with alien innovation to produce new weaponry, enhanced cyber warfare capabilities, and advanced surveillance systems. But the conflict was not limited to open military buildup. A shadow war had begun in earnest, one waged through espionage, sabotage, and misinformation. Human operatives and their alien allies infiltrated Council worlds, hacking communication networks, disrupting supply lines, and sowing discord among planetary governments sympathetic to the Council. These covert actions aimed to weaken the Council's cohesion and reduce its ability to project power. Simultaneously, the Galactic Council mobilized its intelligence agencies to counteract these threats. Elite teams of spies and hackers were dispatched to infiltrate Earth's networks and uncover the extent of human alliances and capabilities. Rival factions within the Council jockeyed for influence, each seeking to steer the response toward either negotiation or aggressive confrontation. Economic warfare also played a significant role. The sanctions imposed on Earth disrupted trade, but also hurt many species dependent on human technology and goods. Black markets flourished as smugglers and mercenaries exploited the growing chaos. Pirate groups, emboldened by the turmoil, increased raids on shipping lanes, further destabilizing interstellar commerce. Meanwhile, public opinion on many worlds polarized. Some citizens sympathized with Earth's refusal to be controlled or manipulated, viewing humans as symbols of resistance against the Council's corruption. Others saw the humans as dangerous renegades threatening galactic stability. Protests, riots, and political upheavals erupted on several key planets as factions clashed over their stance toward Earth. In this atmosphere of distrust, old alliances fractured and new ones formed in secret. Some council members covertly provided aid to human-aligned factions, while others clandestinely supported anti-human militias. The galaxy's political landscape grew more complex and volatile by the day. Despite these escalating tensions, no full-scale war had yet broken out. Both sides recognized the devastating potential of open conflict and continued to test each other's resolve through proxy battles and diplomatic brinkmanship. Behind this scenes, Earth's leadership remained vigilant and determined. Their strategy was clear: to survive isolation, build strength in the shadows, and wait for the right moment to reclaim their place, not as supplicants, but as equals, or even leaders in the galactic order. As the Shadow Wars intensified, the Galactic Council faced an uncertain future. Could they restore trust and unity, or was the galaxy hurtling toward a devastating confrontation from which none would emerge unscathed? The ripples from Earth's defiant announcement continued to spread, touching every corner of space. The fragile fabric of interstellar peace was unraveling, and the coming days would test the resilience and will of every species. The galaxy stood at the brink of an unprecedented crisis. Years of rising tensions, covert conflicts, and fractured diplomacy had reached a critical juncture. The Galactic Council, once the unifying force for countless species, now faced the reality that humanity's unilateral severance of all diplomatic ties might spark a conflict unlike any before. In the weeks leading up to the breaking point, intelligence reports poured in, indicating an alarming increase in military deployments near the borders of human-controlled space. Both human fleets and Council-aligned forces conducted war games, cyber skirmishes, and aggressive patrols that pushed the limits of their engagement rules. Each side tested the other's defenses, searching for weaknesses while avoiding outright declaration of war. Yet every encounter carried the risk of spiraling out of control. Amid this mounting pressure, a critical incident ignited the powder keg. A Council reconnaissance vessel, attempting to gather intelligence near Earth's outer colonies, was intercepted by human forces. The confrontation quickly escalated, resulting in the destruction of the Council ship. The incident sent shockwaves through the Council chambers and Earth's command centers alike. Council leaders were divided on how to respond. Some demanded immediate retaliation, arguing that the destruction of their vessel was a deliberate act of war. Others cautioned restraint, fearing that a hasty military response could trigger full-scale conflict. Earth's leadership, for its part, insisted the Council ship had violated human sovereignty and was engaged in hostile surveillance. This clash exposed the deep mistrust that now defined relations between Earth and the Galactic Council. Diplomatics. Channels remained closed, and back-channel efforts to de-escalate had failed repeatedly. The mutual accusations and blame hardened positions on both sides. Meanwhile, public sentiment across the galaxy was reaching a fever pitch. News of the incident spread rapidly, fueling outrage and calls for justice. Protesters marched in major cities demanding peace, while militias and extremist groups prepared for the inevitable war. The fragile alliances formed in the shadows were now on full alert. Recognizing the danger, a small faction of council members and human officials secretly sought a way to break the deadlock. They organized covert peace talks on a remote, neutral space station, hoping to find common ground before conflict became unavoidable. These talks were tense and fraught with suspicion, but they represented a glimmer of hope amid the escalating crisis. Simultaneously, behind the scenes, Earth unveiled a new technological breakthrough, a defense system capable of neutralizing entire fleets with surgical precision. This advancement further complicated the balance of power, forcing the Council to reconsider the risks of a direct confrontation. As tensions reached a fever pitch, the galaxy braced for the inevitable. Military forces on both sides stood ready, political leaders prepared for war councils, and countless civilians feared the destruction that might come. Yet, in this moment of extreme peril, the story's true turning point emerged. A radical proposal from a previously silent faction within the Galactic Council. They suggested a temporary ceasefire and the establishment of a joint human council, task force to investigate the root causes of the conflict and address the underlying issues of trust and sovereignty. After intense debate and pressure from various factions, including influential voices from the fringe allies who had supported Earth, this proposal gained traction. The Galactic Council and Earth reluctantly agreed to a ceasefire and the formation of the task force. Though fragile and tentative, this agreement marked the first real step toward reconciliation since the severance of ties. It acknowledged that neither side could afford to ignore the complex challenges facing the galaxy, and that cooperation, even if uneasy, was essential for survival. As the story closes, the galaxy remains on edge, with many uncertain whether peace will hold or if the breaking point will give way to devastating war. The fate of billions hangs in the balance, and the choices made next will shape the course of galactic history forever.